Welcome everyone. This is Bōde's Edmonton real estate market update for August 2021. This video is going to quickly show you what's happening in Edmonton at a macro level, and then we're going to show you where you can find all of the data for your specific property type and community so you can look at the real estate trends in the area just around you. So let's dive in. First of all, we're going to look at new listings in Edmonton. So this is looking at the Greater Edmonton area and all residential listings. So any kind of residential listing, whether it's a detached home, whether it's vacant land, whether it's an apartment, an attached home, looking at all new listings that have come to market each month for the last 3.5 years. And the bright blue line is 2021. So you can see each month in 2021, there's typically been a lot more listings than the average of the previous 3 years. So in July, the most recent month, there was 8% more listings in July than there typically would be for July. So the number of new listings is up slightly, so the new supply coming to the market is up. But if we look at demand, demand is up even higher, so lots more sales per month than there would typically be, and even more sales than there are relative to new listings. But that is starting to slow down. You see here in July, sales up 14% over the average of the previous 3 years, but not quite as high as the previous months. So it's been a very strong spring market, lots more sales than typical for that time of year, but it's starting to come back down now. So in the future months, we might start to see more typical sales numbers versus the really high sales numbers we've seen in the previous months. If we take a look at overall inventory is low this year relative to previous years, and that's because of the really high demand and the fact that new listings haven't kept up with demand. So inventory is down about 13% versus where it would typically be, which means fewer homes for sale in general. So if you're a buyer, you've got a few less options out there than you would typically have for this time of year. And if you take all of that together then, months of supply, which looks at both supply and demand at the same time and says, okay, given all of the inventory or all of the homes listed for sale, how many months would it take for them all to sell given the number of sales that we're currently seeing per month? So months of supply is very low right now, and it has been low all of 2021. And you can see even the second half of 2020, the darker blue line there, it was much lower than it is in a normal year. So months of supply has been low, but it is starting to come back up now. So it's about 3.6 months, which means it's a seller's market. So if you're selling a home right now, great time to be selling. Not as many listings for sale and lots of buyers out there. And the inverse is true as if you're buying. So because of that, it makes it a little bit more difficult to be looking for a home to buy right now. And in terms of prices, Edmonton has seen some relatively stable pricing in the last year or two, but in the most recent 6 months, it's really started creeping back up. So this is showing the average prices for the last 15 years. And you can see so far in 2021, prices have been going back up quite quickly. So they're back up to about the levels they were in 2015, even 2014, the most recent highs, which is great news for homeowners out there. The months that are coming, given what we saw on the previous charts, I'd expect that prices will stop increasing as quickly as they have been and start to flatten off a little bit. If you want to look at what the property market looks like for your area, which is critical, we've been looking at the overall market here in these charts, but if you want to look at that same data for your specific community and for your specific property type, so detached homes say, you can find all of that information on our website, bode.ca. Simply go to the market data tool in the top navigation menu, and you'll be able to see exactly what's on the market and what's sold by community. So you can see the same supply and demand trends that we've been looking at together here. You can also go to our sold data page where you can see the details of every home that's sold in the last 11 years. So you can find out how much it was listed for and how much it sold for. And then we also have a comparables tool where you can enter 8 features of your home and see the most similar live listings that are currently for sale and the most similar recently sold homes as well and what they sold for. So take a look at all of that at bode.ca, and we'll see you again next month.